I said, they ain't ready for the LSU. No, they ain't ready for the LSU, huh? They ain't ready for the LSU. No, they ain't ready for the LSU. We the best in the league if you looking for talent. LSU going hard, but we beat Alabama, then we going out to Florida. Drown the Gators, everybody getting bucked when we step in the stadium. This the LSU anthem, you know it's a hit. You don't know another rapper two-step like this. See me screaming out the window, yelling purple and gold. I'm an LSU fan, girl, you know how we roll now. Back and back it on up, hey. 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 Way down in the back.
TA, we are live. Welcome to the Tigers Avenue Show. Another Tuesday here with you guys, as always, to discuss all things LSU. And boy, oh boy, has
Just
it
a few
been
things to discuss.
a busy few days. It's going to be
Hey, but before we get going, Reagan, you weren't here last week. Dad was able to fill in for you. You had some church stuff going on.
Yes.
So we have to say a happy belated birthday first and foremost.
Thank you.
Reagan turned 26
26.
this past November 7th, not too long ago. And also Reagan's birthday always marks the annual for Tigers Avenue, and Tigers Avenue has now hit 4 years in the making. 4 years of posting podcast, and so pretty
I
exciting.
can't even believe that. Doesn't feel like that. 4
It
years.
feels like it was a lot quicker. It feels like maybe 2, but 4 years. Yep, November of 2021 is when we started.
Brian Kelly.
Yep,
it was like, because we covered the whole Brian, coaching search.
Yep, we sure did. Covered everything. Yep,
and here we are again.
LSU lost. Our first episode, LSU had lost to Arkansas. And that's not the case for this episode. As LSU wins in a very closely contested ball game, an ugly ball game, but LSU does get back on the winning side of things. And it was perfect because, to celebrate the 4 years of doing Tigers Avenue, it's good to see LSU get a win, get back on the winning side of things.
Yeah.
And, of course, all the news that has been swirling here the last couple of days surrounding LSU's coaching search. But, Reagan, we're glad you're back with us. And happy 4 years to you, brother.
Appreciate it. Yes. And to you as well. I've enjoyed it very much. And, hey.
We're not going anywhere.
Here's to another 4 years. Hopefully this will continue to draw some more folks.
Yep.
We always want to say, and I think, Zach, it's important to say this, especially today, considering what's been floating around. We're not some kind of inside scoop, breaking news type guys. We're fans. We're simply LSU fans. Two bros who are LSU fans and like to talk about LSU. That's who we are. We're here for you guys, you fans. We want to interact with you guys as much as possible. We're not here to just be newsy and pump news at you. We want to interact with you guys, get your thoughts, and as always. So, hey, you know what we're going to talk about tonight for the bulk of the show, obviously. So, love to hear your thoughts on everything transpiring with the coaching search. Who do you want? Who do you think it's going to be? All those things, as always. So, but yes, LSU winds back up in the W column. And, Zach, I'll also say this before we get into the details of everything with that. I'm proud for Frank Wilson.
Sure, of course.
It's very obvious that this means a lot to him. And I just want to say, I hope whoever gets hired is watching and is paying attention to what is happening, because there's definitely at least two guys that need to stay. I mean, it's almost like mandatory. These guys need to be back. Frank Wilson and Corey Raymond. I mean, they're must. I feel like
100%.
absolute must to stay on this staff. Obviously, you hire a coach. You don't want to meddle too much, but it just feels like it's kind of obvious. Anyways, I'm proud for Frank, Zach. I really am. He was very emotional at the end of it, and so I'm really glad for Frank's sake that they got this W. First game in Tiger Stadium as the head coach, interim head coach, and so it was awesome. And Zach, the game itself, though, you're absolutely right. I mean, it was ugly. It was nasty. It was exactly what you would expect from a 2-7 team playing a 5-4 team who are both playing with interim head coaches.
Yeah.
Exactly how that game played. LSU gets the victory 23-22. As bad as it was, there were still obviously some positives. I think that you can take away. I think Harlem Berry, man, is going to be a force to be reckoned with over the next few years. He just continues to really impress, Zach. He's a stud.
Yeah.
I'm pumped about Harlem Berry, and man, Caden Durham had a great day too. Broke off a 27-yard touchdown run. Man, that feel good. That felt amazing. Michael Van Buren obviously gets his start. Garrett Nussmeier was out after being banged up in practice. And he goes 21 for 31. Pretty efficient. 221 yards, no turnovers, and a touchdown. A decent day, and it got the job done. The one thing with Michael Van Buren that you don't have in Garrett Nussmeier is he is much more willing to run, and he did that. I mean, he broke off a 35-yard run at one point in the game, and you just don't get that with Garrett Nussmeier.
He had a huge 3rd and 7 scramble to get a first
Yep.
down and get you out of the back of your end zone.
Yep.
After the 4th down stop.
That's right. And so there was great moments, and man, what a great moment there. 4th and goal from like the half-yard line, and your defense just bows its neck and gets the stop. Really, that play was awesome. It just felt good for Jacobian Gilroy, a guy who's given his career to LSU. It hasn't been the best career ever, and it hasn't been the smoothest sailing career. It's been riddled with injuries and waiting his turn, and that was a cool moment for him. That was a really cool moment for him. You know, that was his last game in Tiger Stadium against an SEC opponent. That was really cool. Zach, other guys who continue to just be amazing is Mansour Delane, however it's pronounced. Just give that guy the Thorpe Award. I mean, just give him the Thorpe Award. He's the best cornerback in the country. And listen, that's why you need to have Corey Raymond return. Corey Raymond was gone for several years, and DBU disappeared. Corey Raymond is back, and DBU has turned around and is an infant again, and I think can grow into an ugly, nasty beast. You went and plucked the best corner out of the portal. I think that's just the beginning. I think you're seeing the beginnings of what Corey Raymond can really do in guys like P.J. Woodland that are building and growing. And Mansour Delane is at the top of all that. Another interception, in the end zone in a crucial moment in the game. Yeah, I mean, just right before half, and then of course that leads to a field goal, and you won by 1 point. So how important was that turnover? Massive. Yep. Harold Perkins gets an interception. Proud for him. You had the fumble. There was 3 turnovers. Proud for the defense. So those are the highlights. But Zach, here's the reality, and then I'll let you do the breakdown of the game, Zach, really quickly. Those are great things. Those turnovers are wonderful. But Zach, this is probably one of the worst defenses in the SEC. And
one of the worst defenses in the country.
Yes. And you had 3 turnovers, and you are only able to muster 23 points against one of the worst teams defensively in the nation. And you are what you are offensively. You're not good offensively. You were able to get enough points to get you there, to get us, the W. But like to have 3 turnovers against this defense and only to be able to muster 23 points in your own stadium, man, it just is what it is. The offense is what it is. It's not that great, but you did enough to get it done. Zach, run us through that breakdown of this game. Give us a little bit more detailed look on what transpired Saturday against Arkansas.
Yeah, well, like you said, your defense had to step up against top 10 opponent in Arkansas as far as offensively, right? Arkansas came into the game, I think, ranked 8th in the country in total offense. So just a absolute huge, tall task for this defense to go up against, considering what your offense is. And, Arkansas gets things going, 6 plays, 49 yards. They're right there in on the verge of the red zone, and thankful for an Arkansas mistake. They tried to do like the toss dive, and Jack Pyburn's able to fall in it because the running back mishandles the pitch. And so LSU gets a break there, right? That's a huge break. Arkansas was on the verge of the red zone. At the very least, they're kicking a field goal. Your offense promptly goes 3 and out. You line up to punt it, and Bauer Sharp, who has not had a great season, later on in the year, at the end of the season, when we go through these transfers and we talk about hit or miss, unfortunately, Bauer Sharp's just been a miss this year. And yeah, he completely whiffed on his assignment, blocking as the shield, and 2 guys come free off the edge, completely untouched, and you have a blocked punt for a touchdown, and just like that, you're down 7-0. LSU gets the ball back, go 3 and out immediately after that, and then Arkansas 11 plays, 52 yards, 5 minutes, almost 6 minutes off the clock, and just like that, you're down 14-0, and you're going, oh boy, here we go. But here's the deal. I want to say this. LSU's second quarter was the best quarter that we've seen this team play in SEC ball. Because here's how the second quarter went. You played complimentary football in the second quarter. Now, it was only in the second quarter. Huh?
I said, what a word.
I know.
Complimentary.
You finally played complimentary football in the second quarter of this game. Okay? Yeah. So, to start the second quarter, LSU gets the ball after Arkansas goes 11 plays, 52 yards. They didn't score the touchdown. So, you're down 14-0. LSU then goes 9 plays, 75 yards, 4 minutes off the clock. And you had the big run there by Caden Durham. Harlan Berry, again, as you said, Reagan already, but it's worth reiterating. Harlan Berry and Caden Durham both looked phenomenal in this game. And it finally looks like, what Frank Wilson had been saying before the Bama game kind of came to fruition here. So your offense gets a touchdown, right? Wow. By the way, they didn't get in the red zone. They were outside the red zone when they scored that touchdown. So I know we were joking about that during the game.
They scored because they didn't get in the red zone.
Your defense forces Arkansas to a 3 and out.
Yep.
Hey, complimentary football. You need your offense to go do something. Now, they didn't score a touchdown, but they do go 10 plays, 49 yards. A big part of that was Michael Van Buren's pass down the middle to Barry and Brown. And then, obviously, you had another big pass to Caden Durham that kind of sets you up and get in field goal range. LSU kicks a field goal. It's now 10-14. All right, LSU defense. This offense has just scored a touchdown and kicked a field goal. We need you to, again, play complimentary football. And it always, this entire season, it's felt like when the offense has finally done something, the defense lets up. When the defense has been stout, the offense does nothing. But this second quarter, it was just great complimentary football. Your offense goes down, kicks a field goal, makes it 14-10. First play of the possession, Harold Perkins, interception. Now, your offense did not convert with a touchdown, but they did get a field goal, okay? So, maybe not the best complimentary football, but still complimentary football. You get points
You're
off
responding off of turnover. Yeah.
At the very least, you're responding off turnover. Arkansas defense, okay, your offense just got you a touchdown, a field goal, and another field goal. Complimentary football, 3 and out. I mean, LSU's defense was amazing in the second quarter, and LSU's offense had their best quarter against an SEC team this season. They scored 16 points in a quarter. It doesn't sound like a lot, but that's a lot for this offense.
It is.
And scoring 16 points in a quarter, that was big for this team. They force Arkansas to punt. LSU not able to get anything going on the next drive. They punt. That was the only sour part of this entire second quarter. So your offense isn't able to come through, and you're just terrified that Arkansas is about to go down the field with just a little bit of time left and get points before the half and ruin your opportunity for back-to-back, because obviously you were getting the ball at half at the start of the second quarter, or second half. And Arkansas gets a drive going, 9 plays, 71 yards, manslaughter lane in the end zone, interception. And you only had about 39 seconds. Huge credit to LSU's offense. 39 seconds, and they were able to go 5 plays, 55 yards, and get a field goal.
I love it.
I mean, that was huge. That was huge for them. And they take the lead before the half.
Yep.
Now, the third quarter was where it was rough. Okay. The offense just could not get going in the third quarter at all. They had 3 possessions in the third quarter. They punted all 3 times. Arkansas scored a touchdown. Arkansas was on the verge of scoring another touchdown in the third quarter, if not for Jacoby and Guillory jumping over the offensive lineman and stuffing Taylor Green. Otherwise, Arkansas's scoring 2 touchdowns, and you're doing nothing in the third quarter and erasing all of the good work that you did. So Arkansas has the lead going into the fourth quarter, 22-16. They 4 plays, 13 yards. Defense stands tall. They force a field goal, and then LSU had its best drive of the season. Really, best drive of the season. And this is where all the crazy trickery happened. Reagan, I mean, how many? There was like 2 or 3 trick plays that you had in here.
Back to back, it felt like.
I mean, just a lot. 7-yard run. I just want to break down this drive, okay, real quick. 7-yard run, 7-yard run, incompletion, 0-yard run. Van Buren finds Baron Brown again over the middle, 21-yard pass, 6-yard run, 14-yard pass, 10-yard pass, 6-yard pass. You did have a penalty that was on Arkansas that helped you out a little bit. 2-yard run, 2-yard pass, 12-yard touchdown pass. Van Buren gets pressured, gets out of the pocket. The defender guarding Bauer Sharp creeps up trying to defend the run, and he finds Bauer Sharp there in the corner of the end zone. And that was the difference in the game. That drive, I mean, for that LSU offense, this LSU offense to go 92 yards when you absolutely had to have it. You had to have it. Was massive for them. And I get it, Reagan. I get it. Like, it's not impressive because you're playing one of the worst defenses in the country, the worst defense in the SEC in Arkansas. But when you just, and I know I'm cherry picking. I understand I'm cherry picking. But when you specifically just look at that second quarter and you look at the touchdown drive in the fourth quarter, man, that was big for those guys. Massive. Yep. The confidence builder that was for those guys. Arkansas gets the ball back, 6 plays, 35 yards, and you were just hoping and praying that they don't score. And your defense is able to get a stop after they get in field goal range, force a long field goal, and it hooks right. And then, obviously, LSU goes 11 plays. This is another biggie, Reagan. Okay, so second quarter and the fourth quarter, the LSU offense looked good, and they very easily could have scored a touchdown there at the end of the game if they wanted to.
Yeah, I mean,
and got to the 30. They could have walked in. Yeah, Harlan Berry could have walked in. But listen to this. With the game on the line, you're up 1. You got to go try to end the game. How many times have we seen LSU just in these types of situations, in these moments, not do anything offensively? 11 plays, 55 yards, 5:08 off the clock, and Harlan Berry was massive in this game. This is also where Michael Van Buren got going. He had a 35-yard run on 2nd and 16 after you had gotten backed up. You had a penalty. You had a false start penalty. Then you tried to do like a little screen pass that was a negative yard. So right there, you're already behind the sticks. But Michael Van Buren with his feet picks up 35 yards, and then Harlan Berry did the rest, and LSU wins the game. I understand, Reagan, that it doesn't matter. Like, the season doesn't matter anymore. As far as it's washed as far as like postseason hopes and dreams and expectations. Like, but LSU, I think it was really big for this team to go out and win that game. And obviously, you're playing for something, right? Yeah. The boot maybe doesn't mean as much to a lot of people. I mean, obviously, it means a lot to Arkansas fans. I don't think it means as much to LSU fans, but it means a lot to Arkansas fans. It means something to LSU fans. I think it means a lot to those guys to go win that trophy, win the boot, and just have a feel good moment there with Frank.
Yeah,
exactly. So I understand, like, it's disappointing the way the season has gone. But look, Reagan, you're going to play Western Kentucky this weekend. You should win that game. You'll be 7-4, and then you got a huge opportunity to go against on the road against Oklahoma and end the season on an extremely high note.
Yep.
And then you're looking at 8-4 with the potential to get 9 wins on the season. And we're sitting here like, man, it's like almost like it's a losing season, like you're 6-6 or worse. And if you win the next 3 games, I mean, I'm not saying LSU's going to beat Oklahoma. That's a huge, tall task to ask. Especially going on the road in Norman. I'm not predicting LSU to win that game. But, if LSU can get an upset on the road in Norman and then go win a bowl game, they're at 9 wins. And that's I understand, like, that's not the expectation at LSU. But 9 wins is a really good season. It's really good for considering how the season,
sure.
How all of it happened and transpired in September. So, anyways, Reagan, LSU wins. But obviously that is not the highlight of this podcast. The highlight of this podcast, obviously, is everything that has been going on with Lane Kiffin. Obviously, we know that there was a lot of confidence in Gainesville on the Florida side of things, that Kiffin to Florida was a done deal. We know his family was in Gainesville on Sunday, but then on Monday, things started to change, Reagan.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it's just, dude, coaching searches bring out another side of people. Like, it
really does.
It brings out deep emotions of fans. Like, I feel like it's more so even than wins and losses. And I think it's like we think we're better than you, so they want us. Like, we're better than you, so they should want us.
Yeah.
I think that's the mentality when it comes to coaching searches. And, man, it makes fan bases – I mean, it gets dicey. And that's
I think it's followed more closely than any other anything else as far as sports.
When stuff like this happens, fans are paying attention to things like this way more often. Like podcasts, media, online, way more. They're looking for content constantly. Like, I don't know what it is, but it's coaching searching season, and buddy, it's crazy. And to my point, Monday morning, you could kind of tell. You could kind of tell just from rumblings on media and whatnot. Okay, something's kind of moving with the coaching search. It's moving. Things are moving. People are talking, and it felt like people were hinting at Kiffin. Well, Monday morning rolls around, Zach, and I get to the office and I check my Twitter feed just to see anything updates, and of course I'm seeing the normal stuff, and I'm seeing message board garbage, and I'm seeing that kind of stuff. And every time there's a coaching search, somebody's going to track a plane. Somebody's looking at flight logs.
We saw it early, like like within the first week after Brian Kelly was fired, I remember seeing somebody posted a flight
Yes.
path from Eugene, Oregon to Baton
Yes.
Rouge, and they're like, "Is this Dan Lanning?"
Like all of that kind of garbage. And I literally saw like, oh, there's a plane tracking, from some nobody, whatever. And I'm like, I roll my eyes like, whatever. It's the same garbage, like, message board crap. Like, oh, he's flown to Baton Rouge or whatever. And I dismissed it. And then folks in local media start kind of hinting at stuff happening. And then all of a sudden, Wilson Alexander reports literally the quote that I read from Wilson Alexander is the plane was real.
Yeah.
The plane was real. I thought that was
great.
Like a hat tip to Wilson. Like that really got me.
Yeah.
Like I literally laughed out loud and was like, wow, this is nuts. And then all local media kind of started posting it, in Baton Rouge, like, no, the plane's real. They're here. And I'm like, oh, snap. Like, who's here? And, of course, come to find out it's family members. Now we know it was Layla Kiffin, Lane's ex-wife, and Chris Kiffin's family. I don't know if Chris Kiffin was actually with them, but Chris Kiffin's wife and supposedly some of Chris Kiffin's kids. And I mean, they were here, or they were there in Baton Rouge, looking around, touring. I think that's obvious. There was a plane sent to Oxford to pick them up and bring them over. And, buddy, that sent Monday into a frenzy. And then it was no longer just local media. It became national media, like Dellinger and Nakos and Thamel are reporting it. And I'm like, oh, this is like for real.
It's real.
This is for real. And it kind of blew me away. I'm not surprised. I did not expect to find out on Monday that some of his family members were literally in Baton Rouge. A plane had been sent to get them. I was not expecting that. But here we are. And Zach, I think that has sent things into this is a tense time. Florida fans think it's a done deal. Come to find out, it's not. Saturday night after Ole Miss beats Florida, fans are chanting in Oxford, "We want Lane, we want Lane." A reporter asked, I don't think could ask a more pointed question.
Credit the reporter for asking this.
Credit him for asking the question. Like, and I'm not quoting verbatim, but it was along the lines of, are you planning on being the coach of Ole Miss in 2026? Like, very pointed. And Lane totally deflects the question, does not answer the question at all, does not deny anything, does not confirm anything, and really gives Ole Miss fans no confidence in the thought of his future in Oxford. I mean, he literally says, oh, we're not talking about that during the season. It's disrespectful to players. They just had a great win, blah, blah, blah. Just a bunch of jargon to deflect the question. And then that happens Saturday night. Sunday, everybody's kind of like, okay, this certainly feels like he's not committed. And then Monday, it's reported nationally that his family's in Baton Rouge. And I think Ole Miss fans have kind of gotten sick of it, and they want an answer.
Sure.
LSU,
the Ole Miss melt is definitely on.
Yeah, like Ole Miss fans are kind of sick of the whole game that he's playing. They want commitment from him.
I don't blame them.
No, I don't blame them at all.
I'd be asking the same thing. I'd be doing the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the situation. You have a fan base who wants your commitment, and then you have other fan bases who want your services. And it feels like you're not committing because your eye is maybe longing for one of those destinations. I'm not saying it's LSU. I'm not saying it's Florida, but it certainly feels like you're considering it because it's not a secret your family was in Baton Rouge. It's not a secret your family was in Gainesville.
You've had a contract extension on the table for 3 weeks. That would
You're
make you the highest paid coach in college football.
You're not signing the extension. You're not answering the questions. Like, Ole Miss fans want an answer, and I don't blame them. You want some confidence. They've given you everything. I think Ole Miss would give Lane Kiffin anything he ever wanted. I really do. So I think this is a matter of Lane Kiffin deciding what he wants to do. Does he want to
It's
go?
a matter of his preference.
Yeah, absolutely. Does he want to go to one of these premier programs? And I think he's made Ole Miss a great program, a very competitive program. But I think in his mind and his heart of hearts, he thinks I think he thinks there's a ceiling. And I think that's what everybody thinks. And I'm not the only person who said this. This has already been said, so I'm not like taking credit for it. People have said this everywhere. The truth is, Saturday night in Oxford, they had the greatest crowd in their history. And it was 68,000 plus fans. Right? It's Ole Miss is on the cusp of the greatest season they've ever had. If they win 11 games, like, it's literally the greatest regular season Ole Miss has ever had.
Yeah.
And they're in the playoff, and they're a top 5 team. They had 68,000 fans. It's the greatest crowd they've ever had. The fans were in a frenzy. It was nuts. And it's the greatest season they've ever had. LSU, on the other hand, is having one of the most abysmal seasons. They fired their coach. And on Saturday, they played 2-7 Arkansas. And you're 5-4. Both of the coaches are interim coaches. And LSU had like 80,000 plus fans in the stadium. On one of LSU's worst, ugliest days, you had more fans in the stadium than Ole Miss's best day. And I think that's something
by a large margin.
By a lot, right? Like, and I'm not trying to say that to like downplay like little brother Ole Miss. Like, I think that's just the truth. And
well, I mean, the reality is, and if Ole Miss fans try to debate this, I just don't think they've done their homework. LSU is just bigger program, period. And you can't talk about, well, right now, because LSU has constantly out-recruited Ole Miss, right? They've constantly out-recruited them. They always have a more talent-rich state as far as recruiting goes. LSU, I saw some Ole Miss guy tweet today, when the last 5 years, I said, how convenient that you put the last 5 years. And because obviously LSU won a national championship in 2019, so they didn't want to include that. And so I said, well, let me be convenient. Let me be convenient and say this. LSU in the last 6 years has won a natty. Ole Miss hasn't done that in 60 plus years. And I said, just because you have had a better coach in the last 5 years than we have does not make you the better program. Right. It means you had a better coach. You had a better coach. Right. And again, I'm not downplaying Ole Miss. That's just fact. That's just facts. That's literally facts. I mean, the blue chip ratio is much greater in Louisiana than it is in Mississippi. The NFL talent that's pumped in from LSU is much greater than Ole Miss, although Ole Miss has done a really good job in the last few years catching up. They really have.
I think they've done a great job as a system. Their collective.
Yes. And listen, that's because of Lane Kiffin. It's because of Lane Kiffin. But I think he realizes that the potential to have a greater recruiting pool, where he's not recruiting against any other Power 4 team in the state. Obviously, LSU has that benefit. Yeah. Unlike Florida, unlike Ole Miss, right? Ole Miss has to compete against Mississippi State and other against LSU, right? Against Bama. I mean, Ole Miss,
our opposite field of Mansour Delane, our other starting DB is from Oak Grove, Mississippi.
Exactly. So, like, Ole Miss has to compete with so many other schools when it comes to recruiting. And so you're the talent that is coming out of the state is getting picked off a lot by bigger programs because they're bigger programs.
Black, you have the number one receiver in the nation in the state of Mississippi right now, and he's not committed to any Mississippi school.
Correct.
He was committed to LSU, and now he's committed to Tennessee.
Yeah.
Like Ole Miss, and again, I'm not trying to little brother Ole Miss and be like, oh, y'all are a crap program, because they're not. They're a great program. But you currently have a top 5 team in the nation. It's your best season ever. LSU and Florida don't even have head coaches right now, and they still have better recruiting classes than Ole Miss. Right now.
Right now, yeah.
That's just the truth. And I think that is why Lane Kiffin considers to leave. I think that's the consideration that he has.
Well, also, Reagan, when you've got, which obviously this has been discussed a lot as well now, when you have your mentor who brought you to where you are, and Nick Saban, who is telling your agent and telling yourself, you need to go to LSU. I mean,
yeah, that helps LSU. By the way, that's.
Imagine your greatest mentor, like for us, it'd be like dad, or I'm sure there's several other men. I mean, if you're listening to this podcast, I want you to think of your mentor, of somebody in your life who you would consider your mentor, and has far more experience than you do, has had the success in life that you are seeking, and they say, this is the direction you need to go.
Yeah.
Would it be wise to listen to that? Yes, it would be wise to listen to that. Is it the decision you're going to make? We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Maybe your family says otherwise.
There's been times where, I've had wise men in my life tell me a certain direction that I need to go, and I, in my stubbornness, didn't listen because I wanted to do my own thing, right? Sure. And I'm not saying, maybe it's a bad comparison, but because I'm not saying that, Lane Kiffin is some immature, teenager or anything like that. But, I mean, you kind of see the comparison there. Like, if you have somebody that you highly respect who has had the success that Nick Saban has had, and he's in your ear telling not only your agent but also yourself that you need to go somewhere and do a certain thing, commit to a certain thing, I mean, most likely you're going to listen to that. And I'm not saying that Lane Kiffin's going to be the next head coach at LSU. We don't know that. But it's definitely worth talking about.
Sure. And again, Jesse's in here. He's an Ole Miss fan. He's obviously our buddy. We had him on here before the Ole Miss game. So Jesse, appreciate you being in here.
We're gonna get all the comments here as well.
Pull up the can't complain about the crowd size. He said that earlier when I was talking about the crowd size. And he's right. And I think and here's my point, like Jesse, and I think Ole Miss would have 80,000 to 100,000 fans in the stadium if they expanded the stadium. And here's the reality, though. They had a plan to do that. And we were talking about this the other day, Jesse. They scrubbed the plan because they couldn't do it with rev share.
Yep.
That's the reality with that's the reality of Ole Miss. They literally released this massive plan to expand the stadium, build this great stadium. Listen, I think if they would commit to something like that, Lane Kiffin would stay. But they literally had that whole plan and scrubbed it. That's just the truth.
Well,
right.
you think about the Grove, all the people that are in the Grove watching the game.
I think they would fill a stadium.
They would. Of course they would.
The point of what I'm saying is, does Ole Miss really have the infrastructure to really go and do it? It doesn't seem like they are right now. Especially
they certainly haven't committed to do it.
They tried to and scrubbed it because rev share was on the horizon. And we're at LSU, you're probably going to commit 75 to 80% of your revenue share to football. And you already have the 102,000.
They built that softball stadium, though.
Yeah, that is right. I think that's Jesse probably knows better than I do, but I'm pretty sure that's why they had to scrub the football. Like
that on top of rev share, yeah.
And rev share is in effect now, so you got to pay your players out of the revenue, and so I think that is why Kiffin might have a longing for a place like LSU, a place like Florida. I understand it.
Well, also,
but
all the other things we talked about, scrub the stadium thing. Like, if you want to scrub the stadium thing, that's fine.
The recruiting
and the resources, all that. Not having to compete against another Power 4 team in the state.
Yes, LSU and Ohio State have that unique thing about them. Georgia has it too, although Georgia Tech is coming along, but Georgia Tech isn't quite there. But like LSU, Ohio State, and maybe kind of Georgia are like in a unique situation where they're in a talent-rich high school state and they're the only P4 there. So I understand, but I also I want to make it clear. I also understand the heart of Ole Miss fans, like as LSU fans. Like, I didn't personally go through it because I was too young, but we've been through it. Like, as LSU fans, why do you think LSU fans absolutely hated Alabama for years? It was because you found this guy.
Wanted to be Alabama.
You found this guy named Nick Saban from Michigan State. You bring him to LSU, and he begins to win and win big, and he wins a national championship. And you are prepared to make Nick Saban the highest paid college coach in football.
It's weird, the similarities.
Like, you are prepared to give him everything, but he's got an itch to go be an NFL head coach. He's got an itch to go do something bigger. And he goes and he does something bigger. It doesn't work out. And he comes back to Alabama, your SEC West rival, and goes on to do what you full and wholeheartedly believed he could have done at LSU. Like, that is what you're going through right now, Ole Miss fans. Like, you think Lane Kiffin has brought Ole Miss to its peak. I mean, this is literally the greatest season Ole Miss has ever had if they beat Mississippi State in 2 weeks. The greatest regular season they've ever had. Top 5 team. He has brought them to the pinnacle of what Ole Miss has ever been. And it feels like it's slipping away from you, even though you're going, we will give you everything. We will make you the highest paid coach in football. We will give it all to you if you'll just commit. But it seems like he has this longing eye. And I think now everyone understands. A couple years ago, Lane Kiffin was headed to Auburn. And his family convinced him otherwise. I don't know if I don't know. The family may convince him to stay in Oxford. They may very well convince him to stay in Oxford. But I think this is a little bit different. There's ties, way more deeper ties to Florida, way more deeper ties to Baton Rouge with Lane Kiffin than there ever was at Auburn. Obviously, Lane Kiffin's ex-wife, Layla, is a grad from Florida. Her dad was there in Florida, played, coached, all the stuff. Like, there's clear connections there. LSU, Verge Osbury, Jimmy Sexton, like, all have a great relationship with Lane Kiffin with them. And, of course, Nick Saban has kind of been advising LSU on this coaching search, and clearly the relationship between Nick and Lane is there. Like, there's more connections. And also, let's not forget, I don't think you may laugh at this, but I don't think it's insignificant that one of LSU's most beloved players right now is dating Lane Kiffin's daughter. Like, I don't think that's insignificant. Like, if his family had an influence on him not going to Auburn, if Landry Kiffin according to the 60-minute ESPN thing on Lane Kiffin, literally put a slideshow together. It was Landry Kiffin herself puts a slideshow together for her dad to say, let's stay here in Oxford. Do you not think Landry Kiffin is going to have a say-so when it comes to where he's going next? And don't you think that a young girl like herself is going to go and want to be close to where her now boyfriend is?
And that now boyfriend would not push for his now girlfriend to be closer to him?
There's more ties with Florida and LSU than there ever was with Auburn. So I think this is real. However, Zach, Lane Kiffin is like the most unpredictable person ever.
Yep.
I don't know whether to say he's staying. I don't know whether to say he's going to Florida. I don't know whether to say he's coming to LSU. I don't know. But what I do know is that Lane Kiffin next year, regardless of where he's going to be, is going to be the highest paid coach in college football. He's either going to make Ole Miss fans the happiest fans in the country, or he's going to make them some of the maddest fans in the country. And I think, Zach, I want to say this, I think they rightfully can be mad. Because they
Same way LSU fans were mad about Nick Saban.
Same thing. We were so spitting mad at Saban for what he did. I get it. If he leaves for your rival, LSU, like you have every right to be mad. You were willing to give him the world. You changed his life, and he left you for your rival. We know the feeling. So you have every right to be mad. But I don't know what the heck Lane Kiffin's going to do because this was so up and down. And Zach, we haven't even talked about today. He goes on the Pat McAfee show and says, oh, no, there's no ultimatum. There's no ultimatum.
I do partly believe him.
I believe him. I think it's
like we were saying before the show. I don't think there's an ultimatum as far as if you don't give us an answer, then XYZ. Yeah. I think it's just more so of a, hey, we kind of need to know like where you're at so we can, we
need to
prepared.
And to Jesse's point, he says it would be different if he did this at the end of the season. We're in the midst of the pinnacle of Ole Miss football in 60 years. And that's true. I don't know if you can, though. I don't know if Ole Miss, not Kiffin, I don't know if Ole Miss can do that. I mean, if you go, okay, Kiffin, you know what? We love you. Coach us to the end of the season, regardless of what your decision is. And he says, okay. And he coaches Ole Miss through the playoffs. And you let this coaching search go by, and you let the signing period go by, and you let the portal period go by, and you don't have a coach, Ole Miss is going to be in a really tough situation.
Yeah.
I mean, you're looking at setting yourself back maybe a couple years. So I don't know if, I don't know if it's necessarily Kiffin's fault. I think Ole Miss wants to get on the ball and gets ahead of this. If he decides to go, I think they want to get involved because, guys, we just had James Franklin just got hired.
Yep,
there's still 2 weekends left in college football, and James Franklin's already been hired. Like, this is going quick. And it sounds like Auburn's on the way with Summerall.
Yeah.
So if Ole Miss wants to get in on Summerall, like, you got to get in quick. So I feel like I see both sides.
100%.
I understand the frustration of Ole Miss fans. I also understand Ole Miss wanting to have an answer so they can make a move. I also understand where Kiffin's at. Like, I get it.
Sure.
So, Zach, this is going to be crazy. It's going to be a wild week and a half to 2 weeks. Wild. Somebody's going to be really happy. A couple folks will be pretty mad. Either way, LSU's got to find a coach, Zach.
Yeah. Next 2 weeks are going to be really interesting, Reagan. But let's go ahead. Let's take a break. And then when we come back, we're going to fire off all of y'all's comments. If you're in here, look, we got a lot of folks watching. Y'all ain't commenting. So get in the comments. Our guy Jesse and Dad and Ryan are in here. TT's in here. We got plenty of people here. Noah's in here. Noah Watts is in here. I appreciate all of y'all joining in. We're going to take a break, and then we'll be right back after this.
5-Star Hero, your intro and outro music for the Tigers Avenue show. They ain't ready for that LSU. Go check out all his other music on all the major platforms. Don't forget to follow him on Instagram at Saints Anthem and at Twitter at One Nation Doty. Don't forget to check out his Facebook page for all his Saints and LSU merchandise. Can't get any better than Sarah Klein Stevens, attorney at law. Her firm focuses on the needs of the elderly and maintaining their dignity throughout the process. Here for you, here for your family. Sarah Klein Stevens, attorney at law. Stop by to try Fulton's newest drive-through coffee shop, The Well Coffee Co. for all of your coffee needs. Iced, hot, blended, however you like your coffee, we got it. You don't like coffee? Try one of our Red Bull infusions. Maybe you want something else? Try a smoothie of different flavors as well. We'd love to see you at The Well Coffee Co. Monday through Friday right now, 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. The Well Coffee Co., John 4:14.
Right back at it here in the Tigers Avenue show, Zach. I know we got some comments.
I got to say real quick, I got a caramel frap from McDonald's, and it's trash. So I need that Well Coffee Co. That's what I really need.
You do.
All right, let's get to some comments here. We got a lot of folks in here. Noah's in here. I said that earlier, but good to see Noah in here with us.
Noah?
He also thanks you for your service. LOL.
Whatever. Hate y'all so much.
Brian Jelly Fits. Brian Jelly Term, complimentary. TT's in here, said, what's up? Dad says, the Godfather himself says, I believe Kiffin is out. I feel like the decision has been made and he is staying in Oxford. Could very well be. Let's see. Jesse says it's more disrespectful for the players because he's made it a massive distraction.
It is.
100% agree. 100%.
It's a huge distraction. It is.
But I think as players, your players got to kind of understand that too, because like players are doing it now. Players are getting through third parties, having conversations with other teams while they're on another team about more money and better NIL to go somewhere else. Players should understand it, especially now in today's age.
That's what Lance Hurd was doing a couple years ago.
Exactly.
While he was at LSU.
Ryan says the thing is that Ole Miss needs Lane Kiffin. Lane doesn't need Ole Miss. Well, Lane did say he needed Ole Miss more than Ole Miss needed him, but I do more so agree with this statement.
I do think there's a lot of fans, Ole Miss fans, that will say, like, I think Lane really does love Ole Miss, and I think he has changed. And I think in the frustration of the moment, Ole Miss fans will say that's garbage, but I think he means what he says. I do think he loves Ole Miss. I do think he cares and enjoyed his time there. So, anyways.
That says, and what do y'all think of the narrative out there that says if Sark goes to the NFL, Lane is holding out for Texas and the big money? I don't see that, to be honest. I don't see Lane going to Texas. I just don't. I could be absolutely dead wrong. I just don't.
The job's not even open yet.
The job's not open yet, and if it does come open, it's not going to be open until probably the end of the season, and by that point, a decision is probably already going to be made for Lane. So yeah. Ryan says, speaking of Witt, if Lane comes to LSU, does Witt come back next season? Yes.
Yeah.
I would bet money on that he comes back next season if Lane's there.
Yeah.
So yeah. It'd be different if he did this at the end of the season. We're in the midst. This is obviously an Ole Miss fan, Jesse, our good buddy Jesse Hill. We're in the midst of the pinnacle of Ole Miss football in the past 60 years.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of fan sentiment, and I 100% I understand it. 100%. I mean, I'm not against it at all. Ryan, why Ole Miss wouldn't let Lane coach? That's a disservice to the players and the university as a whole. I think it's more of a disservice to the players than it is the university. It's a disservice to the players because he's been their coach all season. He's led them to this point. I don't think it's a disservice to the university, Ryan, just to be honest, because the university's got to be able to move forward and get in this game of this coaching carousel if that's what's going to happen.
Yep.
So, I mean,
guys, like y'all need to understand the coaching searches are moving quickly.
yes,
Like very quickly.
Jess says every Ole Miss fan knows Kiffin is leaving and we will miss out on Summerall.
I don't know. If Ole Miss gets in the game, I think they can draw Summerall real quick.
Yeah, I think Ole Miss could beat out Auburn for Summerall. I do.
Because of Lane Kiffin, I think Ole Miss has become a more attractive job than Auburn.
Yeah.
I think Auburn has become known for ripping the rug out too soon. And I think it's cost them. They should have stuck with Gus. And now it's cost them.
Yep. News could be as soon as Thursday, but most likely after the Egg Bowl. We'll see. Obviously, that ultimatum talk kind of, I think, blurred the lines because I don't know. We'll see. If there's,
we do not know.
If there's not an ultimatum, quote unquote, then I don't think anything has to be announced. And if there's no ultimatum, as far as I mean, Lane Kiffin went out today and said that there's no ultimatum. So I'm assuming what he's referring to there is that, you know, he's still going to be able to coach his team, even if he's accepted a job elsewhere. I believe that's probably what he meant. Maybe. I mean, I'm not 100% on that, but it may be later. I don't know.
Zach, do you not find it really suspicious that McAfee did not ask him a single question about Florida or LSU?
Well, that's just because they do a screening before the interview.
That's my point. Like, if that was on the table, I think McAfee would have asked it.
Yeah, because Lane would have said, "Hey, you can ask me about it, and I'm going to say this," you know, or whatever the case may be. But if Lane's saying, "Hey, I'll do this interview, but you absolutely cannot ask me this question,"
that's what I'm saying. It's suspicious that it was not asked once, and the only thing that was mentioned was, "Hey, what about this ultimatum thing?" Like,
yeah.
The plane wasn't mentioned. Baton Rouge wasn't mentioned.
Which I'll also say, whenever I saw that he was going on the Pat McAfee show, I immediately thought that. I was like, we're gonna learn nothing from this. Absolutely nothing from this. I know there were some people thinking, oh, it's gonna be Lane making an announcement, clarify, yada yada yada. We didn't learn anything.
No, it was more of the same, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh, we're focused on winning. We're 10-1. Look at this awesome running.
I mean, and Pat focused on Ole Miss, the team, and this season, not on the future. He focused on this season and the team now.
Yes.
That was his main focus. That was the main point of the conversation.
Yes.
So anyways, I will say 2003 for Ole Miss was a huge year, one of their best ever. Also the year LSU won the national championship. Anyways, Ryan, you don't have many opportunities to make it in playoffs and a chance at a national championship game. I guess he's probably talking about Ole Miss, I guess.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. Do you hold off on the coaching search to let your best season play out with this coach, even though he's leaving? Or do you say, we can't wait, we got to go, and you let him leave? Like you have to make the decision. You know who I'm glad that I'm not? It's Keith Carter. I'm glad I'm not Keith Carter. What a horrible position to be in.
Apparently they did yoga together this morning, you know. That was another thing we learned at the Pat McAfee show, but that didn't give us any details at all. Anyways, moving on from Lane Kiffin, because that story will continue to progress, and we'll be talking about it here in Tigers Avenue probably next week. I'm sure there'll be something we'll talk about next week as far as Lane Kiffin goes. I'm sure there's going to be something newsworthy. LSU basketball, men's and women's, both undefeated on the season so far. Obviously, competition hasn't been great. Reagan, I'll let you talk about the men's side a little bit. I haven't been able to watch the men's game as much. I've been able to watch a little bit here and there,
Sure,
but
sure.
mostly been working while they've been playing, and it's just been kind of how my schedule has fallen that I've been able to watch the girls more. So let me discuss the girls real quick. Flau'jae Johnson has been amazing the last 2 games. She kind of had a little bit of a slow start the first couple of games shooting wise. Like in her first game, I think she was less than 40% from the field shooting wise. And the last couple of games, Reagan, she has arguably been your best player. Malaysia Fulwally probably has something to say about that. But Reagan, I made this point whenever we were on the show with Dad last week, and I want to make this point again for all of our viewers that are here. And I thought it was really hilarious that Kim, after their win, after their win last night, thanked the Louisiana reporters that were actually there at the game, supporting the women's game, and straight up called out the other Baton Rouge media for not being there because they were more focused on the lane. Which, I mean,
true.
She's right, but also football, women's basketball,
bigger story.
I mean, where does your money come from? Where does most of the athletics money come from? Obviously, we know the answer to that. So, anyways, LSU did play Tulane last night, and they kept their streak of 100-point games, getting into the triple digits. Just barely, Reagan, just barely. 101. They had a massive first quarter. Malaysia Fulwally did lead the way in scoring, but Flau'jae Johnson Flau'jae Johnson led the way in scoring, 22 points. I'm not sure why ESPN had Malaysia Fulwally there listed as the score leader. Flau'jae Johnson led the way, 22 points, 9 of 13 from the field. She was 2 of 3 from the three-point line. That's another thing, Reagan. She's been deadly from the three-point line the last 2 games. She's been also very good on the defensive side of the ball. But here's the point I wanted to make, Reagan, that I made last week. I've been extremely impressed with 2 freshmen.
Oh, yeah.
2 freshmen. Number 1, and she wasn't even the highest rated recruit, Zakiya Johnson. Zakiya Johnson is playing above her year.
No doubt.
For sure. She had 14 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. So yeah, Zakiya Johnson just continues to be extremely aggressive down in the paint. She fights for rebounds, fights for loose balls. I mean, she's just really impressive, Reagan. She's been, to me, the most impressive out of all the freshmen. I think Bella Hines has also looked pretty good. She didn't have a great game against Tulane. She only got 1 point. But the previous game she's been really good. I think Grace Knox has gave some really valuable minutes as well. But having Malaysia Fulwally and Kaylin Gilbert and Amaya Joyner and then Grace Knox, Bella Hines, all those players off the bench, LSU is deep this year.
Yep.
They got better last year, right, with depth, because we remember like the championship year they had some depth, they didn't have great depth.
Yeah.
And then the year following the championship year, they didn't have depth, period. Like they really didn't have depth. And a lot of that was injury. And you had obviously a player dismissed from the team that year as well. So you needed depth. Last year you went and got some depth. This year you've got great depth. And when you have obviously Malaysia Fulwally, who is coming off the bench and scoring in the double digits easily every night, near 20 points every night. You've got Grace Knox and Bella Hines that are contributing. Amaya Joyner, who's really been good down in the front court. She had 12 points this game. What's really impressive, Reagan, what's most impressive that to me, Malaysia Fulwally, 8 steals. 8 steals last game. Just incredible.
Active, man.
Incredible.
Active hands.
I mean, right now, Flau'jae Johnson and Malaysia Fulwally have been your best players, and I haven't even mentioned Michaela Williams, who's your best shooter.
Yeah.
She had 16 points this game, just a cool 16 points, 5 rebounds. This women's team, they're good. They're good. Now, obviously,
and it's young talent, dude. The young talent.
Young talent. Consider the competition. They're going to play Alcorn State on Thursday. They got 2 more, just like they'll beat the crap out of them type games. But December the 4th, they're going to Duke. They're going to Duke, and that is going to be a huge test for them. Now, Duke on the season so far, they're 3-2.
Somebody.
Yeah, Duke hasn't been like super impressive, but that game's going to be on ESPN. It's going to be like 8 p.m. on ESPN. And yeah, that's going to be a big test for LSU, I think.
Sure.
So you got 2 more just kind of get it out the way games before a big test on the road. And then you've got a slew of more just kind of tune-up games before you get to SEC play. But look, Reagan, when you get to SEC play, you're going to host number 20 Kentucky. You go on the road to number 17 Vanderbilt. You you go on the road to Georgia. Then you host Texas, number 4 in the country. Go on the road to number 8 Oklahoma. Before you kind of get a little bit easier in the schedule. But LSU, man, the SEC schedule this year, it's going to be tough. So I think that early game in December against Duke is going to be huge for this team, Reagan. But what about the men's side?
Yeah, they started off the season. They're 4-0 right now. The first 2 games they played, they really, really dominated, and it was lesser opponents, Tarleton State and New Orleans. You're still playing lesser opponents, but the last 2 games, it hasn't been as pretty. And I'll just be flat honest, Zach, it concerns me. The expectations with the men are like, there's not much expectation. It's like until we get to SEC play, nobody's really going to care. And I'm going to be honest, the last 2 games against FIU and tonight against Alcorn State, there's moments when you're worried. Like in both games, the first half was a struggle. Like it was a 5-point game against FIU at half. It was tonight against Alcorn State. It was a 6-point game at half. And Alcorn State led LSU from about the 17-minute mark in the first half until about the 3-minute mark in the first half.
Yeah.
Like led that whole time. Which really concerns me because these are teams you should be totally dominating. FIU scored 81 points. Alcorn State scored 81 points. Zach, Alcorn State after tonight is 0-6. Horrible basketball team.
Yeah.
And you allowed them to hang 81 on you.
Yeah.
That's
not good. That's not good defensively.
Again,
it was not good defensively.
No, but I'll say on the flip side, offensively, you've been really good.
Reagan, they shot near 80% this game,
yes.
Which is insane.
Yes. You percentage-wise shooting, you have been fantastic. Offensively, you scored 90. You haven't scored less than 90 points all year. 96, 93, 98 tonight. 107. Zach, the leader scoring-wise has really surprised me. It's been Michael Unwoku, however you pronounce his last name.
Nwoko. Yeah.
Nwoko. 22 against FIU. 29 tonight against Alcorn State. He's been really dominant. He's aggressive in the paint, likes to slam it, and he's been impressive so far.
Him and Dayton Thomas, excuse me, man, the connection there is real.
And that's one of your big 3 is Unwoko. The next one, Zach, is Markel Sutton.
Yeah, I was going to say I've been really impressed with Markel Sutton.
Averaging a double-double right now. He's been fantastic tonight. Again, another double-double. It was 15 and 10 for Markel Sutton again tonight. And then the other one is DJ Thomas. He had 15 tonight, 16 tonight, something like that. And the impressive thing about him is he's very active in the game. He's not scoring a ton of points, but he'll end the game with like 15, 16 points. He'll have 5, 6 rebounds. And then he does what a point guard's supposed to do, 6 to 8 assists every night. And like you said, that connection between him and Michael has really started off really well at the beginning of this season. But like you said, with the women, again, really not good opponents. And these last 2 games, it hasn't been dominant where you just put them to bed early. It was kind of like, oh, this is a ball game at half. Like, what are we doing?
The last 2 games have been like that. Yep.
And they pulled away in the second half, but still, like, you shouldn't be allowing FIU and a 0-5, 0-6 now Alcorn State hanging 81 points on you. That's just wholly unacceptable. The fact that they led you for that long, the majority of the first half, is unacceptable. So I'm concerned. I think Matt McMahon's rope is short this year. Zach, you have a new athletic director. Athletic directors like to go and get their guys. And I wouldn't be surprised if Matt McMahon has another year like he has been having, that this is it.
I think this is it for him.
There's
it's a make or break season for him.
Yeah, there's been much more of an investment this year, and I think it's do or die for him. So he's got to turn around quick. We'll certainly continue to watch, but I think SEC play is where we hone in and go, okay, what are we made of? One interesting thing, Zach, and then we'll wrap it up. Your next game is against Omaha, which is Markel Sutton's former team. So kind of cool that he gets to play his former team kind of right off the jump here this season. Hopefully the Tigers take care of business. That's Friday night at 7 p.m. So Tigers get the dub tonight against Alcorn State, 107-81. We'll continue to kind of keep an eye on that. And, hey, I'm an LSU fan. Like, I know we have zero expectations, but I want them to do good. So hopefully they'll keep winning. All right, guys, it's been a great show. We'll keep you updated on all things coaching search. It's going to be interesting. LSU plays – I mean, there's really no point. I mean, Western Kentucky this weekend, 6:45 in Tiger Stadium.
LSU will win. Do they score 30?
Prediction, LSU wins. Yeah, we might score 30 this weekend, guys. That'll be awesome. Anyways.
Western Kentucky, they're 8-2 on the year, by the way.
Yeah, the one interesting thing is, does Michael Van Buren get the start? Does Nussmeier come back? We'll see. Anyways, but we'll be back here next Tuesday to update you on all things LSU, as we always do. Appreciate you guys being in here and active as always. Ryan, Dad, Jesse, Noah's in here, TT, all you guys. Y'all are awesome. Appreciate you guys as always. All the support is awesome. We love it. We love doing this. 4 years in, Zach. Still going strong. 4 years in. And never a dull moment. I mean, never a dull moment as an LSU fan. Hey, we'll see you next time here in the Tigers Avenue Show to discuss everything that transpires in the next few days. We'll see you next time. Foster here takes out. Peace.